Hisham Kelati. Guys, one more time, Marsha. I know you're not supposed to do this, but I'm primarily a stand-up comedian, and it's just weird standing in one place because I am a huge spaz and will be running around. Very excited. Yeah, for the record, I fell in love with a TV show called Forged in Fire. Maybe we have some fans in the audience. Yeah, yeah. It's a reality TV show on the History Channel because they've caught up to 2019, I guess. And I watched like 5 seasons. I've watched like hundreds of episodes of just these grown men make swords, and I fell in love with it. So much so that last year I went to a knife convention in Milton, and it's just a it's just a bunch of dudes in a hockey rink going like, "That's a nice knife." It was great. I loved it. It was time of my life. If you guys want to talk about swords, please find me after the show. That wasn't a joke. That was a request. So I've done true stories 2 other times, and I've always done a story about the same person because she is a well of stories. I always tell stories about my mom. My mom is a sweet, sweet woman. That's her over there. No, it was a joke. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting it's a storytelling show. I will keep the jokes to a minimum, just emotional, heartfelt things. Okay. My mom is an absolute sweetheart. A little bit of context. We're from an East African country called Eritrea. It's been around since '94. Check us out. Wikipedia page is very new. And our claim to fame is last year, the United Nations did an assessment of literally wars in the world. And we have the unique distinction of being the most unconquerable country in the world. We're officially 12 for 12, guys. We've killed every colonizer who showed up. My mom calls us rock people. We're just stiff, hard, just solid, reserved people. I'm the exact opposite. I'm the literal black sheep of my family. But if you meet any other Eritrean, they never smile. They just say facts. My mom said, "I love you" when I was 12, and that was it. She's a hard woman, okay? And like, I came to Canada when I was 5 years old, and I've assimilated aggressively. I love it here. I never want to go back. But my mom is like tried and true Eritrean to the core. Like our everywhere we've been, everywhere we lived is just little Eritrea. Like there's it's Ottawa, Toronto, Charlottetown, PEI, because we came there when we got here because we didn't know any better. It was just me, my mom, 2 sisters, and 100 potato farmers. Nicest people in the world. God bless them. God bless them. And you know, we had to do everything together. And my mom did it by herself. My mom is a black Muslim African single mother refugee. Okay, she's playing life on hard mode. Like God was handing out problems, and she's like, "I'll take all of them." Like she doesn't give a shit. She does not give a shit. She's hard. I didn't know anything about my mother's life in Eritrea. Well, she likes to joke that her life started in 1990 when we just came to Canada. If you ask her, I was little, be like, "Mama, what was the old country like?" She'd always say something super vague. She was like, "It was hot and everyone was nice. No more questions, please." I didn't ask anything. I looked up in the atlas. Our country didn't even exist yet, okay? I knew nothing about it until I was 15 years old. I went to a family reunion in Etobicoke, which in my case is just a house filled with drunk Africans confessing family secrets. And I got cornered by one of 4 Uncle Muhammads, okay? He was about 6'7". This is the tallest I've ever seen in my life. He's like 6'7". He just filled a room. He's got shoulders that went for forever. And he just looked like an African Morgan Freeman with an afro, and he had an eye patch. And he wandered into the living room, and I'm just sitting in the corner just eating food, and he just taps me on the shoulder and he goes, "Are you Mamina's son?" I'm like, "Yes." And just no context, he just goes, "Has your mother ever told you she was a soldier during the Civil War?" And I'm 15, okay? I'm scared, I'm confused. I literally said, "What?" He just stared at me with his one eye. He's like, Yeah, your mother, she was a tank engineer during the Civil War. It was her job to drive the tank on the front line. I'm like, that's so badass. He goes, yes, badass, very badass. Has she ever told you she has 9 confirmed kills? And then I get real quiet real quick. I'm like, mama? My mama? HR manager at the Winners in Scarborough? My mom? Has killed 9 people? How do you know this? Without missing a beat, he just goes, because I'm the one who ordered her to kill them. They laugh this big, African laugh. It's all teeth, no blinking, okay? I still have dreams with that laugh. And he sees this horrified look on my face, and he just goes, my English is not good, bad joke, and just walks away. I never see this man again in my life. I bring him up to my mom. My mom has no idea who he is. She's just, that was just your imagination. That's just completely ignored that entire thing at all. I've never seen this man before. I asked my sisters, they're like, what Uncle Muhammad? I'm like, maybe it was a ghost. I don't know. But like, I could believe it. 100% I could believe it. My mom is like hard. She's just tough and tense. She's like a panther on the prowl. But 2 decades of double-doubles has really mellowed her out, okay? My mom's changed as a person. Growing up, you know, she had to learn a brand new language and then teach it to me and my sisters and do our best to excel. You have to be 10 times as good as them to even just get a chance. And it was just drilled into us just to be, she was training us for a war we did not have to fight, okay? My mom was training us like old school, okay? And all her children grew up to be successful people. And then once she like found that out, once we all just got our own places, our own significant partners, we've moved. One of my sisters even has a daughter. I have a niece. She has a granddaughter. Like a switch went off, and my mom just was like, you know what? I've never tried just being chill. Like my mom just relaxed. I saw a fist unclench, but like as a person. And now she's open to these like wild, just like these weird experiences that I would never have thought she would ever do. For example, my 60-something African Muslim mom loves sushi, okay? My mom hasn't eaten anything not crisped to burnt. She's coming to Canada, okay? When we came to Canada, we literally lived in Scarborough. We went to a Kelsey's because my mom's like, this is freedom. Like, she just was throwing cash our cousins and uncles had given her. And the guy's like, how do you want your steak cooked? And she's like, cooked. Like, it was just like, I should understand. He says, it's like, yeah, how do you want to cook? She's like, on a stove? Like, she thought he was dumb. Is my English not good? Like, she's talking to her kids, trying to understand it. My mom didn't understand that people could eat meat like raw, and my mom was like, I left Africa, burn it, okay? She tried sushi, loves it, it's wild. My mom's favorite television show, Seinfeld. It was a mistake. Last year for Muslim Eid, for Muslim Christmas, it's Eid, I got her the entire DVD box set of Seinfeld. It was $9.99 at Walmart, okay? I thought she'd re-gift it to one of her friends. She watched every episode for every season, like her citizenship was on the line, okay? She's now the reigning Seinfeld trivia champ at a Seinfeld trivia night in Etobicoke at an Irish pub called Mulligan's. No joke. They know they don't drink. They know that she doesn't drink, so they literally bring like a 6-pack of mango juice just for her. And she showed me her hijab collection, all Star Wars themed, because she wants to, and I quote, fit in. Like my mom's trying. But sometimes, like, you know, I tell my sisters this and they always laugh. Like, you can take the girl out of Africa, you cannot take the stone cold killer out of my mom. My mom still has it, okay? She hasn't blinked since Jean Chrétien was prime minister. I know she still has it. This past July, my niece's birthday is on July 8th, and I killed it in like uncle mode. I killed it, I was so happy. Her favorite thing in the world, or she has 2 favorite things, banana bread and like young adult novels set in dystopian futures, okay? She's a 14-year-old girl, that's all she wants. Just banana bread and like teens murdering each other, okay? She's past the age of Hunger Games. She like I watched it when I was in my 20s, like she doesn't even know it exists. So for Eid, I got her the entire Mockingbird, like all 3 books, and she loved it. Like she lost her mind when she found out they were made into movies. She started crying. Like it was so cute. And so for her birthday in July, what I did was I knocked it out of the goddamn park uncle presents. I got her and 14 of her girlfriends a 3-hour session at a Palladium in Etobicoke that does dodgeball archery, okay? Instead of rubber balls, it's bow and arrows. And I gave it to her, and she just started vibrating. She's like, let's do this, let's fucking do this. Flash forward 2 weeks, it's her, it's like we're all at my place, because I'm supposed to take them, and I rented a party bus, but he never showed, okay? It's just 2 white moms, tense about the fact that the birthday's not gonna happen. All the girls are all angry they're not gonna be able to go, because we live in Scarborough. So how am I gonna get like 17, 18 of us all the way there? And then my mom walks downstairs, and she's like, what is the problem? We're like, we don't have anywhere. I don't know how to take these people there. I can't get an Uber XL. For all of us. The bus didn't show up. He's not picking up my calls. She goes, no problem, 20 minutes. And then just walks back upstairs. They're all staring at me like, do you have an answer? I'm like, I have no idea. I'm as confused as the rest of you. 20 minutes later, she comes down looking fresh. She has a new hijab. She's all dolled up. She's wearing, no joke, like a leopard print pantsuit, okay? My mom wore that to my graduation from university. Like, this is a big night. And she goes, everyone outside. So we all just march outside. 30 seconds later, a party bus rolls up onto our driveway. And a man walks out, the driver, he's a 40, 50-year-old man, kind of looks like me. I'm like, who is this man, mama? She's like, this is your cousin Ali, this is his bus, everyone get on. And everyone did, except me. I had several more questions. I'm like, I've never met this man before in my life. He goes, you just met him. Mama, whose bus is this? He drove this here? I'm like, that's not an answer. That's not proof. She goes, Hisham, no more questions, please. And just gets on. So I get on. 45 minutes we get there from Scarborough to Etobicoke. This guy was driving 200 down the DVP. They're just blasting Taylor Swift. None of them care. They're millennials. They have no reason to live. They're not scared of anything. My mom's been in a war. She doesn't give a shit. It's just me and the white mom screaming the entire time. We get there, they're all super pumped. We get inside. There's just one dude who runs the whole arena, and there's like 4 or 5 courts. There's basically mini battlefields, and I basically rented half of the gymnasium just for them. And they split up the teams of 7 and 7. 7 and 8. My niece just shot everyone. It was her birthday. She didn't give a shit. And it was just me, the 2 moms, and my mom sitting in the bleachers watching. What is the best episode of Game of Thrones I've ever seen in my life, okay? It may have been because I ate 2 edibles, but I pay my taxes, fuck you. And so I'm having a good time. My mom is watching all of this, once again, never blinking. And I asked her, I'm like, yo, are you enjoying this? Are you having a good time? She goes, reminds me of home. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. I watched these girls shoot the shit out of each other for 3 hours. They really hated a girl named Janine. She was not enjoying herself. End of the night, taking off their battle gear. And one of the girls goes up to the owner, this big French dude, and she points to the roof and goes, what is that? And I haven't even looked up this entire time. We all look up, and there's like a fridge-sized bell hanging from the roof of the arena. And the guy goes, it's the Katniss Everdeen bell. If you hit it with a bow or an arrow, you get a free pizza dinner on us. And they all collectively lost their minds. We need to do this for feminism! Was yelled. And I watch these young women who 30 seconds ago were like in the middle of bloodlust, just murdering each other, form lines like English archers, and just start shooting in unison as a team. It was beautiful. I have it all taped on YouTube. Please follow me after the show. And I'm watching all of this, and I'm super pumped. I'm super excited for them. Every arrow misses, okay? It's an adorable attempt, but they're missing by like 20, 30 feet, okay? And they're all like really getting dejected, but they're trying their hardest. Finally, the owner comes out. He goes, no, stop. Put him down. And they all put their bows and arrows down like they were taught in the beginning. And they're like, what's wrong? He's like, you guys can't hit the bell. They're like, oh, is there like a trick or something? He's like, no, you're just a bunch of little girls. You're too weak. And then, yeah, right? It's like everyone in the arena just stopped. And they're like, that's a weird thing for an adult man to say to a bunch of young women. That's very, and like the white moms were having none of it, okay? They just started scoffing, like back to each other. No one moved except my mom, who's been watching all of this in silence. Okay, she stood up. By the way, my mom's so tiny when she stands up, it's still the same height, okay? She stands up and she just points at this dude and just goes, no. And I'm like, I don't know what's about to happen, but this is gonna be amazing. And she goes, ¿Cuál? Ring me de bo and arrow. And my niece just walks across a quiet, like you can hear a pin drop arena, and just walks up the bleachers and just hands the bow and arrow to my mom. And my mom knocks it and like pulls it back and immediately aims it at the dude. And I'm like, this is it. She's finally gonna do it. She's gonna kill a white man. It took 20 years. And I'm a good son. I didn't even flinch. I started looking for exits and cameras, okay? I ain't a snitch, all right? My mom is seething with rage, all right? This man just straight up disrespected her only granddaughter, her baby. My mom will let her actual children die before someone would insult her granddaughter. And my mom, while still staring this dude down, moves the bow and arrow and just lets go, never breaking eye contact with this man the entire time. The rest of us just watch this arrow whistle through the air before it goes gong and hits the bell. And to the side of us were like a bunch of like just teen boys from like some like Catholic school. And as soon as they saw the arrow hit, they just took off their shirts and started screaming, Somalia! And my mom just points at this man. And before she sits down, she just goes, half vegetarian, half pepperoni. And sat down. That is the most straight up gangster shit I've ever seen. 25 years out of Africa, still providing her tribe with a bow and arrow. And my mom was beaming the entire time. She made him buy pizza for everyone in the whole arena, okay? There were like 150 people there. And she made him buy like premium, like deep dish stuff from like the East End. And she sat there and they pulled out this huge table. And she just stood at the head of the table watching everyone eat. Just filled with joy that her people were being fed. And at the end of the night, she took all the leftovers back with her. It's just me carrying like 15 Tupperware containers. We even bought a couple duffel bags from the arena just to stuff them in. I ate pizza for 3 weeks, guys. It was a dream. Didn't poo the entire time. And we're on the bus on the way back, and the girls are hopped up on sugar and adrenaline and pride. And the two white moms are in the back just like in love with the documentary that is my mother, okay? They're just like touching her hijab, being like, is this real? And my mom's loving it, okay? She loves the attention. She's never felt more like a queen in her life. And they're just like, you gotta tell us, Mamina, that was incredible. Where did you learn to use a bow and arrow so well? And my mom, without flinching, just goes, back home, during the war, at night, me and the soldiers in my unit would take our bow and arrows and go into the night to hunt. And the white moms are like, oh, that's amazing. You guys would go hunt animals for food? And my mom just went, yes. We would hunt animals for food. No more questions, please. Guys, I'm Hisham. Thank you so much. Let's bring on Marsha!